Another edition of Coach Speak. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, I'm Jeff. That's Ira. That's Corey. Been producing, and you're you, and you're here. And our thanks to Artezia Water, arteziawater.com. More on them later. Suffice to say, they're what's in my coffee every morning. They're what's in Ira's glass right now. Corey's probably not drinking Dasani water or whatever that is. Rather
It's absolutely not Dasani water, Jeff. Thanks for saying that. It is Artezia. It's just filled. Well, it's got a little Mio in it, but it was a Dasani water at one time.
There we go. Got it. Let's do this thing.
Can Artezia water not get bottles this size? Because I'd be guzzling them all day, baby.
We just do the big
They do the
jugs.
big jugs. Yeah, they ain't got time for the small stuff.
Big jugs. Everybody loves big jugs.
Everybody does.
Everybody does. All right, Ben. Dave Aranda to lead the show. Let's go.
Hey, don't look now, guys, but Baylor has won 2 games in a row. They won the Coach Speak Bowl over Mike Gundy and Oklahoma State last week.
Come on, Dave. Keep that job, baby.
Here's his opening statement, and, of course, it was filled with plenty of great analogies.
Good to see you guys. Proud of the fight with the team. I thought that it was a big step for us. One of the things we show the team pretty consistently here these last couple weeks. We got it's a huge mountain. And there's stairs on the mountain that goes all the way up. And I showed it to them 2 weeks ago, and man, we want to get to the top of this thing.
Okay.
And the step that we're on ain't even on the thing. You can't even see it. We're way down there, And when you think about it, I want to get to the top, and you're way down there, it can be so disheartening and so discouraging. The thing is to focus on just the step that's right in front of you and the things that it takes to take that step, and day by day and series by series and play by play and that. And so I feel like we've been able to do that. And that's blocking out whatever is on the outside and just focusing on the stuff that needs to be focused on the inside. All things that are hard to do. When people are carrying around phones and all the stuff that's the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I thought we were able to do that. The step today was, man, we won a game. There's all the pressure of trying to win games. Everybody understands the situation here. And so you win a game, there's a chance of exhaling, and it's like, well, you really can't do that because we got another game coming up. And it's a really good opponent, and we got to put in effort and work to do it and all that. And I thought the guys were able to do that. I thought we started the game with that type of mindset and effort, and, it's good to see. I thought that, the first half and middle part of the game, just so many mistakes. I mean, I wish that was not the case. We need to really be past that. But the ability to fight through it and to not accept it and to battle and to get off the field when we needed to, and those long drives offensively, just so cool to see. The fight of the team and the belief in each other is really cool, and I think it's inspiring to me to see it, and I think it bodes well for the future. I think we've got some things to build on, after this step that we took.
Big step. Do you guys think that if he talks like that in the pregame meetings or like before practice, do you think the players are like, okay, man, if you'll shut up, we will go practice as hard as you want us to practice.
Yep.
We'll do whatever you want us to do, Dave.
Talking. Yeah.
Yes, we see the steps, we see the mountain, we know we're not on it. We'll start climbing that mountain, Dave, if you'll just shut the F up.
We got to get to practice, Dave. It's getting late.
Yeah.
Getting late out here,
Burning
man.
daylight.
Yeah, we got to get to some practicing. I don't know. He needs a lozenge. Something tells me that he is not that quiet when he's engaging with his team, only with the press, because that was a raspy voice. I was
kind of wondering, what was he doing in there? Because he must have been screaming in the locker room, and then comes out and tries to be all Mr. Polite and kind. You know what I mean?
Dave. I like Dave. I want him to save his job. I do think he legitimately probably was thinking to himself during the long drives that were neat to see, quote unquote. I think he probably does legitimately believe that that's really cool, quote unquote.
Yeah. Oh, man, isn't this awesome? Isn't life cool, man? He's probably telling that to the assistants. Man, this is crazy, right? We're out here spinning in the universe, spinning around some big glowing ball, and then our team can have a 9-play drive.
I do think he literally like put up on the projector a mountain with steps and showed them, illustrated to them. So you guys aren't even on these steps yet. You got to do one step at a time. And I just would love to see the reactions of those players as they're sitting there seeing this on the overhead.
And I'm
If we
glad
had a cool overhead like that, and he's like, guys, what you don't see here are the steps.
The stuff that we're on.
We're not on them.
Well, also, like, could they have just gotten a picture of a mountain without steps and explained the same premise, or do you actually have to have a mountain with steps on it?
Yeah, you don't have to have steps on the mountain. It's implied that you're trying to get to the top of just the mountain. It's understood you can't float there.
Yeah.
I don't know why you need steps.
You could technically have a plane like drop you off on top like those skiers do that do the crazy slopes. So maybe he wanted to fight that urge from his players to be like, Coach, instead of climbing the stairs, can we get some low-flying plane to drop us off on the top of the mountain? He doesn't want that in his Baylor program.
What do we got for number 2 after the great Dave Aranda, good sir?
Yeah, tough fact to follow for sure. While Dave was super positive, our guy, Jeff Traylor at UTSA, was not, and he had good reason to be. Tough loss to Tulsa. The Roadrunners led 42-17 with 5:30 left in the third quarter, and they lost. They fell to 3-5 on the season as well.
Yikes.
Here's Jeff Traylor. Luckily for him, though, the one reporter he hates no longer works the San Antonio beat. So that's
42-17 with 5 to play in the third, and they lost?
Yeah, they lost.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Your level of frustration just at how things have played out this season?
Yeah, it's about as high as it can be. It's as high as yours and everybody else that's a Roadrunner fan. It's pretty frustrating, JJ.
Yeah. What did you see in terms of the penalties that became an issue again today?
The 2 offsides on our offensive line, just mental weakness. Defensive pass interference. Really great job by Ty, proud of him. Cut the guy off, look back for the ball, clinic tape. Cyrus lost his composure there. That 15-yarder. Can't lose your composure. The holding on Houston Thomas. Great play by Houston, proud of him. Hands inside, did a great job.
Okay, good.
All right.
I had to go back through all of them. I mean,
Most of them were great jobs by my players, though.
comment on all those.
Owen McCown ended up setting the school record for passing in the game today. What did you see from him and what he brought for the offense?
It doesn't matter. We didn't execute 4-minute offense. We didn't execute 2-minute offense. That's on the quarterback and the head coach and offensive coordinator, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Man.
That is the way to respond about bad officiating, though, is to say it's a clinic tape. And I was really proud of him that he did an excellent job on that holding.
He said on 3 different players that they did great jobs.
Proud of him.
He described a stack. He described a great coverage moment. He described a hold, all of which he clearly disagreed with. But, Buddy, I'm thinking the number of plays when you're up 42-17 with 5 minutes to go in the third. Now, I don't know who possessed the ball in that exact moment, so it could have quickly been 42-24. You're running out of possessions. It's not even possible to come back in that situation.
Let me ask you this, Jeff. What is that point differential?
The 42-17?
Yeah. Real quick math.
25, right?
Yeah. What lead did the Falcons have in the Super Bowl with about 5 minutes left in the third quarter?
It's tough to do.
I'm going to say it's possible, though.
But
what I'm going to say is it's rarely, if ever, seen. It's historic.
It's improbable. It's improbable.
And I'm guessing San Antonio wasn't playing Tom Brady.
No, maybe they were. Maybe San Antonio has Tom Brady because he set the school record for passing.
Man,
they have Tom Brady. But his coach didn't want to talk about it.
But remember, Corey, we all did the math. Had Shanahan decided to run the ball with Devontae Freeman up the middle on every one of the remaining plays of the game, the Falcons would have won.
Yeah, I don't know why I brought it up. I don't want to talk about it. That was dumb.
What's crazy about this coaching profession is that this guy, I think he was rumored for the Texas A&M job. He's had success, and there's been talk of him getting a big Power 5 job at some point. And now his team is 3-5 and losing 25-point leads, and he just is hating himself right now.
He's
It's,
despondent.
They're coached well.
Yeah.
I mean, all those penalties aren't penalties. They're coaching it to the letter of the law.
teaching tape.
Yeah.
Good God, though. That was depressing to listen to. You thought I was depressing on Monday after the Miami game, Corey. That guy was way more morose.
And not only that, the background and the setup of the press conference too. It's like in an English class in a high school near San Antonio, I guess. Like it just none of it looked like it was enjoyable at all.
Nothing screams we don't care more than throwing your coach in a classroom after the game and just like having him lean forward into the TV screen there. Yeah.
On a desk, like a teacher's desk.
Yeah. What do we got, Ben?
Hey, let's visit with some more Group of 5 coaches. What do you say? You guys all remember Chuck Martin, Miami of Ohio coach.
Yeah.
So we've got our first follow-up on Coach Speak, and it's weird because it comes like 3 months after the original quote. So if you're a fan of Coach Speak, you remember Chuck Martin, his kicker transferred to Alabama, and Chuck was not too happy about that. So we've got a follow-up on that former Trader kicker. And Chuck he's totally not upset at all. He's totally over it. Totally over it, guys.
Coach, early on, Jobin is giving you guys your points.
Yeah.
Talk about Jobin and what he was able to do for you guys early on.
Yeah, no, I don't know how many people believe me when did I want Graham Nicholson to leave? Heck no. I again love Graham. I miss having him around, knucklehead, and and he's like automatic, and then it's like, but I got so many, it's so fun. I got so many, like as soon as he hit the port, like it was everybody and their cousin, every kid goes, I got a guy for you. I'm like, I got 2 guys. I really got 2. I don't like him necessarily. I didn't play him over Graham, so obviously I like Graham better, but I'm not saying they're never going to miss a kick, but I got 2 guys I think are really good, and I think Kellen came at the end. Kellen's good. Kellen's a talented young man, and doing a great job on kickoff. It was great that he got the chance to get some field goals. I was glad we got the delayed game because I was like, let's push Kellen back a little bit because again, he's got that Dom mindset. He's got that Graham. They love being out there. They love being in the arena. Like Graham loved it, and so again. Our kicking's been good this year, so do we miss Graham? Yeah, we miss him personally, but we've been really good there. We haven't skipped a beat for sure.
He's got one of those voices that I would hate to have to be around and work with because I can't understand him. Half the time he's muttering, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. He's
going through still going through it though with Graham. I mean, this is like
how could you know, Ira? He might have been ordering something from Uber Eats.
He didn't make any there were very few words you could pick off there. I mean, that's tough. That whole first 30 seconds. What are you talking about?
And when he brings up the fact that he said something and he's like, I got people texting me about something.
No,
were they offering him
kickers? They were offering kickers.
When Graham went in the portal, everybody was like, "Hey, we've got kickers. We've got kickers." He's like, "I like my 2 guys. I didn't like him more than Graham, obviously, but I like."
I've got a new girlfriend. She's not nearly as good looking as the old girlfriend, but she's all right.
Yeah.
Pam, listen, Pam was great, but Pam's not here anymore.
Yeah.
Imagine in 2024 having a girlfriend named Pam. There's no way.
I was going back to college.
Okay.
He's thinking of Pam Anderson.
Well, yeah, that was the last one.
different Pam. But I think in Ohio, knucklehead there must not be a better term of endearment for he's a knucklehead, but I love him. I mean, that's not, you don't hear
it's
that
like
much
goofball, right? It's like goofball, but it's more
he's a
endearing
knucklehead
up there. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever called somebody a knucklehead.
It's we should adopt it. We should bring it to the South.
Ben, next up.
All right, college basketball is upon us, guys, and we know the Hurley family is just absolutely insane. So here's Bobby Hurley, Arizona State coach, recapping their 103-47 loss to Duke.
Wow. It was an exhibition, but still.
It's happened. It's not like I didn't come out and play the guys that should have been on the floor. I wasn't experimenting tonight, and this just happened to us. No, we got our ass kicked, and it was
oh shit.
And it was with them, having arguably their All-American and best player just playing half the game too. So hats off to where they are, and oh shit about where we are right now. So.
That's going to win the clip, guys. That's going to win. That's going to win.
Great.
That's fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, he's like, by the way, it's not just that. It's also that. And we're terrible.
Yeah, I knew Duke was really good. Everybody knows what Duke has. But good grief.
Oh, shit. Oh, God, no. What was
You've
that?
got a long way to go. I fear this is sort of emblematic of where college basketball is these days, friends. I think you got about 3 good teams and everybody else just blows and nobody watches.
Yeah. That's probably what it's going to be. They'll watch Duke because they got the Cooper Flag kid. But, yeah, that's obviously he's a crazy person, and his brother's a crazy person. Yeah. They're likable.
More crazy.
Yeah, they're likable in a very specific way for stuff like that. Everything else, watching them on the court, watching how they interact with referees or the other team, is not likable. I would say I'm going to go ahead and venture it's not likable. But those moments, like press conference moments, trying to be honest assessors about their own team or the greatness of a team they're playing, they've always been pretty good at that, I think.
Oh shit's a good way of describing your situation when you lose by more than 50. Ben, before we get to the next one, I want to talk about the greatness of Artezia water and the Artezia water service. My kids, they're asking for, I'm going to put a lot of pressure on my friends at Artezia water. They're asking for 8 jugs a month now, Ira. They've gotten greedy. They've gotten so accustomed to a certain lifestyle with Artezia water. I don't know how to explain to them that the other half does not live this way, guys. You should really never take it for granted that we have Artezia water service in the Cameron household. I'm sure the Schoffels over there aren't overlooking how great it is to have such a privilege. The Clarks aren't. My kids are greedy bastards.
If we ever lose this account, Trevor, I may have to get a lawyer because Kim is all about
We're accustomed to a lifestyle.
I thought you meant you were going to sue Trevor.
No. I meant
you're going to get a divorce.
A divorce attorney. Again, if you are in this part of North Florida, over to the western part of the Panhandle, across to I think Madison, Monticello, somewhere in that area, or up into South Georgia, go to arteziawater.com, ARTEZIA water.com, and tell them that Coach Speak. Tell them you heard about them on Coach Speak. And they'll get you set up with a month for free. And it's just a great service. It's from a artesian water source. It's locally owned, great customer service, great prices. Again, you're not dealing with some corporate monolith. They're just good people, and they love just providing this great service. And so if you get a chance, check them out at arteziawater.com.
Arteziawater.com. Next up, Ben, what do we got, baby?
Hey, let's make fun of our own teams for a little bit here. How about that? We'll start with mine, the Louisville Cardinals, and defensive coordinator Ron English, Eastern Michigan legend Ron English. So he makes some interesting comments about his players here. Cards are giving up an average of 39 points per game in their 3 losses. So I want to ask you guys, are these comments fair or foul?
Ooh, okay. Here we
It's
go.
happened to us before. So we have a bunch of veteran guys that we thought would have a little higher aptitude than they've had. And so we have had to be less ambitious in what we are asking them to do. And sometimes that can show up in practice where they can execute all those calls. But in a heat of battle is something different. And so we had to come to grips with that. And we, as aggressive and innovative as we would like to be, it's not always the right time for that particular unit.
Buddy, you just called them stupid.
Tommy and Billy over there, guys, they're not Mensa. They're not Mensa candidates.
Man, that is a tough one when you lead with, we have to be less ambitious.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I love that way of describing somebody who might not have the capabilities you had hoped for.
Did he say higher acuity? What did he?
Aptitude.
Aptitude. Okay,
Aptitude,
yeah. That's I've never heard it put like that.
He's trying. Yeah. He's trying to be as polite as humanly possible.
But it comes across more condescending.
Well,
see,
yes.
It's
a fine. Ben's right. It's a fine line.
It's better than saying they're dummies that can't walk and chew gum at the
same
time.
Well, I mean, he did say they were dumb.
He's saying they're dummies.
Yeah.
Well,
what he's doing is even more insulting in a way, because what he's saying is, if I say the word aptitude, they're too stupid to know what that means.
Yeah. They're going to think I'm saying they can't jump high.
What did he call us?
Yeah.
The thing, obviously, I mean, it seems to me we're not following Louisville as closely as Ben is, but I'm guessing they're getting exposed for some simplicity on defense, and he's trying to explain why. We could draw up some more complicated stuff, but these dummies can't learn it. And
we have to be less ambitious.
Yeah,
it's a tough spot, man. It's tough. It's tough for these coaches. It sounds like we got another one coming up here for Florida State. And yeah, man, it was funny. I listened to Matt Rule's press conference this week. And there was nothing probably, I didn't know if we needed for the show, but he talked about how coaches, he goes, I'm not going to sit up here and just bring up execution because that's just coaches blaming their players. If they talk about execution, they're saying the players aren't any good. And I was like, man, I'm sure I've heard Matt Rule talk about execution before.
Oh, 100%.
It's just, it's a tough spot, man. Like if your kids aren't very good or very smart, it's tough to get up there and answer questions.
That was fun. That was a good one.
He also set it up. Just the veteran guys, the young guys might be the smartest kids on campus.
We'll see.
Older guys just don't have the aptitude they thought they had.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we hope the old guys would be able to teach the new guys, but these old guys are dumb as a brick.
Yeah, they don't know anything.
We got no hope.
They don't even know what sport they're playing.
Yeah. I got some of them their names, where they're from. I got nothing. Ben, what do we got?
Yeah, maybe Louisville needs to free them youngins too. Okay,
yeah,
so, sure. We made fun of the Cards. Now it's the Seminoles' turn. This is Ira actually asking Coach Norvell. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ira, about a failed fourth down conversion against Miami, where a receiver was wide open, but the quarterback did not see him. I believe.
Oh, and I gave Ira this question. This was a Corey original because I wasn't at the press conference. So I'm like, hey man, can you ask him about this play, Jeff? Just to set it up. It was the fourth down play where they tried to wheel route.
No, they tried to wheel because he's got an open portiere.
Yeah, but I thought there are plays where it's like, man, this is basically your read. Toafili's the guy. These guys are just running to clear the way,
right?
To clear the safeties out, so Toafili will be open, matched up with Miami's, I thought, slow-footed linebacker, but maybe not. And that's
grabby linebacker.
Yeah,
he held him to start with first.
Yes,
of all,
he did. Yeah.
So here's Mike breaking down that play.
Trump's breaking open across the is that a play where there's only one read there, or is it a play where he needs to see that?
It's things that we all get to learn from, and obviously, he's right when it was over. Just to be able to go back in that, but that's yes,
yes.
That is fantastic. He deserves a lot of praise for that. That is good. There are things we all get to learn from is a hell of a way to start.
But then to finish it off with just the yes, and then just put his head down.
The defeated. Yeah, and thanks, Corey. Also, I got took some strays on Twitter for asking that question because people were like, "Oh, you're like Ira wanted Norvell to roll his freshman quarterback under the bus." I was like, that's not what I was trying to do.
No, it's the exact opposite. It was like he threw it to the guy he was only supposed to throw it to. That was the whole.
And also,
that was not the case.
People suck. Just we can't. And this year has revealed even more of what we knew.
But Portier was wide open.
Yep,
wide
open. Yeah, they might want to run that play again. I would say that was a funny response there. Just the defeated yes.
But it's also, it's so typical. It's what I was talking about with the clip before. It is hard sometimes, man, for these coaches because you don't necessarily, you need to explain things, but it's hard to not roll the kids.
It's nearly impossible.
Norvell did a much better job of not rolling his kids.
He really came close to saying, "I don't know if this kid has the aptitude," but he did, which was nice.
I do think, I've tried to express this over and over again. What do people want? A coach is not going to get up there and say the things that make it okay. Nobody's going to be like, oh, well, I listened to Mike afterwards, and I know we lost by 30, but I thought his answers were fantastic as to why.
I feel good. I feel better about him now.
No, there is no right answer to that, man. When you're 1-7, when you go into the press conference after losing at home to North Carolina this Saturday, you think he's going to be like, well, I thought that we did a good job here. And by the way, you guys are all right. I really screwed this up at the start of the season. And that's not going to happen.
He should have said, listen, guys, I saw Luke's SAT scores. He's got the aptitude.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's happening.
That's what the A stands for, folks.
Yeah.
It's aptitude. So we know he's got it. And then he's like,
don't even get me started on his ACT scores. It was through the roof. This guy is amazing.
But then he's like, but I'll be honest with you guys, walking off the field in Dublin against Georgia Tech, I was like, oh, shit. This is going to be a long season.
Ben, anybody else to make fun of that we all care about?
All right, we got 4 more. I don't know where we stand on some of these guys. We'll keep it in the ACC for the next 2, though. Ugly loss for Fran Brown and the Syracuse Orange. 41-13 loss to Pitt. 3 pick sixes from Kyle McCord. Coach Brown is apologizing not only to the fans, to the team, but everyone that's ever been affiliated with Syracuse University.
Okay.
Nice.
I realized I didn't believe that we would lose until it was 3 minutes on the clock, and then it went to what's name, and I was just like, freak. And that's where it bothered me. But before that, I was 7 minutes, let's go score. Let's go. We're going to get 4 more touchdowns. We got to be able to do this, kick it deep. Because I knew we could stop them. It wasn't like the best offense in the country, but they just dominated on defense today. They did a good job. But I wasn't worrying about, stopping them. That wasn't our thing. But Narduzzi, who's known for defense, he bust our butt. He bust my butt straight. So, I got to do better than that. I got to do better than that for our university because Syracuse University doesn't deserve that. Our faculty, staff, alum, student, none of our students, none of them deserve to have to look at that way. So I have to do a much better job of having our football team be able to be on a big stage on Thursday night in front of the country and play that way. So that's completely myself, and I just truly apologize to everybody that has anything to do with Syracuse.
I'm sure somebody on the campus deserves it.
Yeah.
They're not all good
There's
people.
bad people that deserve these kinds of losses. I agree with you.
There's at least a couple of violent people on that Syracuse campus that deserve all the pain you can give them.
We'll say if you're going to give the mea culpa that he gave to anybody ever associated with Syracuse ever, that's a really snazzy pullover.
Yeah, it looks good.
That's a really good looking pullover with the quarter zip there, and that was nicely done by him. Nicely done.
I do like the fact that he just lost by 25 or whatever, and is like, we weren't worried about their offense. I mean, their offense.
Well, he was right. Their offense didn't do a whole much. It was a bunch of pick sixes that literally they had 3 pick sixes and another
3 pick sixes and a long punt return.
Yeah,
Pitt really didn't need to play offense.
It reminds me of when Florida State back in the day had a bunch of turnovers that went back for touchdowns, and Mickey Andrews said, "Can we at least teach these running backs and receivers how to tackle?"
Yeah.
Maybe
that was a good. I thought that was a good mea culpa. I thought that seemed
yeah.
genuine. He seemed really embarrassed by what happened, and I thought that because they don't get a lot of national games at Syracuse, and with most people watching, and that was again, I nothing about that guy do I dislike. Right now,
we'll see. We'll see.
I know. We'll see how it goes. I like him now.
I think there's a trend here that's not going to bode well for him. By the way, Virginia Tech is going to house their ass this weekend, and I want to see his reaction. Then we may be looking at him on Coach Speak again.
Might be apologizing again to all the faculty.
Yeah. We'll see. Next up, Ben.
All right, let's go to the other side of things now. Coach Narduzzi making his first appearance of the season here on Coach Speak. So we're going up to Boo City, PA. There haven't been a lot of boos up in Pitt. They are 7-0. And
that's right.
guys, I got to ask, is Coach Narduzzi the first coach ever to be excited about playing on the ACC network?
Oh,
yes.
I don't know.
Prime time, baby.
First time you guys are going to play a ranked opponent this season. Obviously, SMU still undefeated in the ACC. Does this feel like the biggest game that you guys have played so far this year? Stakes?
Stephen, I think every week is a big game. I mean, like Syracuse, it was 5-1. I don't care, ranked, unranked, all that ranking. Whoever ranks them, who cares?
Coaches.
But like last week was a big game. Every game's big. Cal was a big game. That was a good football team. That was a great defense that came in here. I mean, they shouldn't have lost the games. They should have beat Miami, who's an undefeated team. Like every week, I mean, I can point to who you're playing. This is just the next one in line, and it's a road trip. It's a night game. We're fired up to be on the ACC network finally. I mean, we get the road show there, whatever they call it, and get with that crew. I think that's always fun. And they really haven't seen us this year. It's great. I mean, we haven't had a 3:30 game. We haven't had a new game with our ACC network. So that's our network. So we're excited about that. So, fired up. It's a big game. It's just the next game. Guess what? Next week, Virginia will be a big game.
Guys,
But
we're
my
going to be on
man
the ACC network, guys.
Yeah. My goodness, he's all about it. He's pissed they haven't been on the great ACC network this year. By the way, how representative is that of the ACC and the sad state of affairs that they're in? You've got 2 top 20 teams, potentially playoff teams, guys, potentially.
Yeah.
And the nation isn't going to see them because they're on the ACC network at 8 o'clock. But meanwhile, you can get like a slap-ass Arkansas team, 3:30 prime time, CBS, the whole country watching. That's kind of the way this secondhand, the stepchild network is there.
I do like that he's fired up about seeing EJ in Taylor, right?
The road show.
The road show, and I don't know who else is on that panel.
Eric McLean.
Oh yeah. Who I like. It's actually. For what it is, it's a really good show. So maybe that's why he's excited. Like he gets to be around. If they win, he gets to go sit up on the podium like like Pat Mahomes does after a Super Bowl championship. It makes you feel like pretty big when you're up there on that podium.
Yeah, it is a good crew. I don't want to make fun of them. We do like them, but to act like it's our chance to get on the ACC network is kind of funny. The other thing, man, Narduzzi, I'll give him credit because we liked him when he was losing. So I mean, I'm pulling for Narduzzi. We need more Narduzzis.
I'm a Narduzzi guy.
He'll rip the refs. I'm all about him.
I interviewed Narduzzi a couple ACC meetings ago. Not this last year, but the year before. He was great.
Dude's dude.
Yeah, dude's dude is right. Yeah. Ben, what do we got?
All right, let's check in with Mike Elko, Texas A&M. Some interesting comments here. A lot of speculation about who he's talking to. Some say he was talking about Jimbo. Others say maybe Sark. I don't know. We'll see what you guys think.
I think it's the way we talk to the young people. I think the things that we talk about, the messaging, how we bring really good people into the building. We talk about doing things together. We talk about culture, and everyone talks about it, but then we go out and we live it every day. And I think we back up our actions. We're very honest. We're very open. And this is a real program. It's not fake. It's not a politician running this program, talking fast and BSing everybody. This is a real program. And for all the recruits out there, this is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football,
I know who I think he was talking about.
That last part kind of gives it away. That last part about talking fast. And
then he came back, I think, the next day and is like, it's ridiculous. I have to talk about this, but I wasn't talking about Jimbo Fisher. He gave me a job here. He introduced me to Texas A&M. Of course, I'm not talking about Jimbo. And it's like, okay, well, who did you have in mind? Who were you talking about? Like, clear it up. Like, are you talking about a specific type of coach? Or is there a specific coach you're talking about? Because we're always going to think you were talking about Jimbo.
Because you
always.
Were. Because you were.
I mean,
fast talking, right?
Nobody talks faster than Jimbo, and he was in that seat right before you.
A year ago.
Very, very specific, guys.
The one thing I would push back, though, if I was the anti-Jimbo train on this is is Jimbo a politician? Does he come across? I don't think he ever came across as like a politician that went back on his word necessarily.
I just think BS, and it goes to BSing, and I just think
you're just associating politicians rightfully with liars.
He could have been talking about Ted Cruz. He's from Texas.
Yeah, maybe that's what he was
Maybe
doing.
that's what he should not say that to his fan base. That's who he was talking about, but he could talk about it. But yeah, and then I think some people thought he might have been talking about Brian Kelly too. And he's like, I have a long history with Coach Kelly. I wouldn't have been talking about because that's who he just beat.
We know who he was talking about.
Yeah,
He's
fast talking.
If it was Brian Kelly, he would have said, "I'm not up here making up fake Southern accents."
Yeah,
exactly. Brian Kelly to me is as likely as Jimbo.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm just saying he just beat Brian Kelly.
I think it's.
I don't think Brian.
I'll go to my grave, Jim.
Okay.
Corey.
All right. We'll get Elko one day on the show.
Yeah.
We'll get Elko one day on the show,
and he'll reveal it for sure.
Yes, exactly right.
What do we got, Ben?
Hey, last one, guys. We've got our guy Lane Kiffin. He's a little pissed off with the SEC schedulers after LSU got another night game.
And they just announced November 9th kickoffs, 2:30 for y'all against Georgia. So you got 2 morning, 2 afternoon kicks left from your perspective or coaching perspective, is there any advantage at all to playing day to night kickoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's proven over time in NFL and college. Playing at night in electric atmospheres is a home field advantage, and tough when you got to do that as a opposing team. So that's been proven for a long time. And so who won at night? LSU gets to play at night again, I guess. Shocker. So that's 2 for 2 for them. It is an advantage. I feel bad for our fans, to not have one night conference game is really unfortunate for them. And so whatever. It's just really disappointing, but it is what it is.
Man, I like Lane. Lane's kind of won us over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also, it is weird that LSU is kind of perceived as a bigger brand maybe than their resumes. I don't know. Do you think
well, they're a big brand.
They are a big brand, but it's
bigger
not
than Ole Miss.
But are they having a great season?
No.
That's a good season though.
They're that was their second loss. They're still in the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
I just think it's crazy that he's right, man. Ole Miss sure seems to play a lot of noon games at home, which is 11 a.m. there. Right. And they're a good team, and they've been good for a while now. They must lead the world in 11 a.m. kicks, which can you imagine being a fan and always playing at 11 a.m.? That would kind of suck.
It's kind of like Jacksonville being treated the way they are in the NFL. Like, hey, we're just going to ship your games off overseas.
Yeah, you either go or don't. We don't care.
Yeah, and the whole reason you go to Ole Miss is because of the Grove and that party, and it's just the sundresses, and it's just a good time over there at Ole Miss. And so if you make them play at 11 in the morning, it's like you cut off 2/3 of their day. Give them a night game.
Sundress time. Yeah.
Give Lane one night game.
Well, there's no doubt the SEC network and people at the SEC do love the look of an LSU night game. I mean, that brands well.
Right.
There's no doubt it does. And it is awesome.
But you could do both. You can have 2 night games on your schedule on 1 week.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's it's odd that it's always okay, well, if we're going to put LSU at 7:30, Ole Miss, you're playing at 9 a.m. Sorry, that's the only time we could find for you.
Does Hurley win, guys? Does Hurley win the Dave Aranda Coach Week Award?
100%.
Right?
Yeah,
Ira, you're down with that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a contest. I was a little bit worried, guys, when Ben put Dave Aranda to start the show, because I feel like our viewers probably drop off dramatically once Dave is
That's
done.
fair. We need to be able to tease that. And don't forget, last clip, we got Dave Aranda coming.
That would have been a mistake. Though, because this week was chock full of really good ones.
Hopefully they saw Bobby.
Coaches insulting their players, questioning their aptitude. You had
Ira asking questions about if quarterbacks can see the whole field.
And a great answer from Mike. That was a great answer. Yeah.
That you set me up for?
Sorry, that's my bad. That's my
Perfectly
fault.
done. Perfectly done. ArtesiaWater.com, everybody. Go get you the best water in the world and the best service in the world. ArtesiaWater.com. And mention Coach Speak when you do. They appreciate that. And we appreciate that. Ben, great job out of you as always. Happy Halloween, everybody. That's Ira. That's Corey. I'm Jeff. Until next time, enjoy the football.